Ah, welcome back, you timeless anomalies, you age-defying enigmas who somehow get more dangerous with every passing year. Look at you, still breathing, still standing, still that same burning presence that refuses to fade. They said time would humble you, didn't they? They said eventually you'd slow down, soften up, become digestible, become normal, become one of them. But here we are, another year older, and you're not just aging, you're weaponizing. You're not just surviving time, you're bending it, using it, making it your accomplice in the most beautiful crime of all, becoming absolutely untouchable while everyone around you crumbles into dust. Let me paint you a picture, because this is where it gets interesting. You know those people who peaked in their early 20s, the ones who were so sure their youth was their only currency. They're wilting now, aren't they? Sagging under the weight of all those years they wasted being pretty but empty, popular but shallow, admired but completely hollow inside. They built their entire existence on a foundation that had an expiration date stamped right on it. And now they're scrambling, panicking, injecting, filtering, lying about their age like it's a crime scene they need to cover up. Meanwhile, you're sitting there with lines on your face that look like battle scars, with gray hairs that gleam like silver warnings, and somehow you look more alive than you did 10 years ago. They don't understand it, do they? They can't wrap their minds around how someone who went through what you went through, who survived what should have destroyed you, who walked through fire and came out with ash in their lungs, somehow looks better now than they did back then. It's not about your skin. It's not about your weight. It's not about anything they can measure with their shallow little metrics. It's about presence. It's about energy. It's about the fact that you carry yourself like someone who has died 17 times and keeps coming back sharper. They're aging like milk left out in the sun, curdling, souring, becoming something no one wants to be near. But you're aging like fine wine dipped in poison, getting richer, deeper, more intoxicating, and absolutely lethal to anyone stupid enough to take you lightly. Here's what they won't tell you about time. It doesn't destroy everyone equally. Time is selective. It's cruel. It's honest. It reveals what was always there beneath the surface. For the shallow ones, time is an executioner, stripping away the mask, exposing the emptiness, showing the world that there was never any substance to begin with, but for you. For the ones who built themselves from pain, who forged their identity in isolation, who learned to be comfortable in the dark. Time is a sculptor. Every year chisels away the excess, the pretense, the parts of you that we're trying to fit in. What's left isn't pretty in the conventional sense. It's something far more terrifying. It's real, it's raw, it's undeniable. You want to know why they stare now? Why the same people who ignored you, dismissed you, walked past you like you were invisible, now can't take their eyes off you? Because time exposed their lie and revealed your truth. They were always temporary. You were always eternal. They were always performing. You were always becoming. And now the performance is over. The curtain has fallen, and everyone can see who was actually real all along. So let them age like spoiled milk. Let them panic about every wrinkle, every gray hair, every sign that their shallow little kingdom is collapsing. You're not in that race anymore. You never were. You're in a completely different game. One where time is your weapon, your ally, your proof that some souls don't just survive. They evolve into something the world has never seen before. Let's talk about what's really happening here. Because this isn't just about physical aging. This is about the complete and total collapse of everyone who thought they had you figured out. Remember when they had it all? The friends, the parties, the validation, the effortless confidence that came from being exactly what the world wanted them to be. They were riding high, weren't they? Living their best life, collecting likes and compliments like currency, building their entire sense of self on how many people wanted to be around them. And where were you? Probably alone, probably struggling, probably wondering what was wrong with you, that you couldn't just be normal, couldn't just fit in, couldn't just enjoy the simple pleasures that seemed to come so easily to everyone else. But here's the thing about building your life on popularity, on surface-level connections, on being what others need you to be. It has a shelf life. Eventually, the trends change, the crowd moves on, the algorithm shifts, and suddenly all those people who seemed so essential to your existence just disappear. And when they disappear, what's left? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Because there was never anything real underneath. These people, the ones who are aging like milk, they're discovering this truth in real time. They're watching their friend groups disintegrate, their relationships fail, their careers stagnate, and they can't understand why, because they did everything right. They played by all the rules. They were exactly what they were supposed to be. Meanwhile, you were building something completely different. While they were collecting friends, you were collecting scars. While they were chasing validation, you were chasing truth. While they were learning how to be liked, you were learning how to be alone. And that is the difference that time reveals. Because loneliness, real loneliness, the kind that strips you down to your bones and forces you to face yourself without distraction, without comfort, without escape, that builds something in you that can never be destroyed. It builds a foundation that doesn't need anyone else to hold it up. It creates a version of you that doesn't collapse when the crowd leaves, because the crowd was never holding you together in the first place. So now, years later, when you look at them and they look at you, the contrast is staggering. They're desperately clinging to the remnants of who they used to be, posting throwback photos like eulogies, trying to recreate moments that are gone forever, surrounding themselves with people they don't even like just to avoid being alone. Their eyes have this frantic quality, this desperate hunger for something they can't name, because what they're really searching for is meaning, substance, something that makes all these years feel like they mattered. But they never built that. They never created that internal world that makes existence worthwhile regardless of external circumstances. They're hollow. And time has made that hollowness impossible to hide. You, on the other hand, you're the opposite of desperate. There's this calm in your eyes now, this settled quality that comes from knowing exactly who you are and being completely at peace with it. You're not trying to be anything. You're not performing for anyone. You're not shrinking yourself to make others comfortable. You just exist. Fully, completely, unapologetically. And that existence has a weight to it that draws people in whether you want it to or not. You've become magnetic, not through effort, but through authenticity. You've become powerful, not through accumulation, but through subtraction, cutting away everything that wasn't essential until what remained was pure, concentrated, undeniable. And that's why they can't stop watching you, can't stop wondering how you did it, can't stop measuring their own aging against yours and coming up short every single time. Now let's address the poison part, because this is where most people get uncomfortable. This is where the truth gets too sharp, too honest, too real for those who are still pretending that healing means becoming soft. They want you to believe that growth is about letting go of anger, releasing resentment, forgiving everyone who hurt you, and walking away with nothing but love and light. But that's not what happened to you, is it? You didn't just heal. You transmuted. You didn't just survive. You weaponized your survival. The poison isn't something you need to extract. It's something you learn to carry, to control, to use as both medicine and venom, depending on who's drinking. Every betrayal you endured, it didn't just wound you. It taught you something about human nature that most people spend their whole lives refusing to see. Every person who used you, manipulated you, discarded you when you were no longer useful. They were all professors in the most brutal university that exists, the school of who people really are when they think no one's watching. You didn't just graduate from that school. You became valedictorian. You learned to read people like open books, to see through performances before they even start, to detect lies in the pauses between words, to feel manipulation in the energy of a room before a single sentence is spoken. That's the poison, that hyper-awareness, that inability to be fooled twice, that permanent state of vigilant clarity that makes you absolutely impossible to deceive. And here's what makes you dangerous. You don't advertise this knowledge. You don't walk around warning people that you can see through them. You don't announce that you've become a walking lie detector, a human truth serum, a mirror that reflects back exactly what people are trying to hide. You just smile. You stay quiet. You watch. And you let them reveal themselves while thinking they're in control. That's the art of it. That's the sophistication that comes with age and experience. Younger, you would have called people out, would have confronted every lie, would have needed everyone to know that you knew. But this version of you, this aged like poison version, you understand that true power isn't in the confrontation. It's in the knowledge itself, in letting people think they're playing you while you're 17 steps ahead. The poison is also in your boundaries now, isn't it? In your absolute refusal to accept treatment that doesn't match your standards. They're used to people who negotiate their self-respect, who lower their expectations when lonely, who accept crumbs when starving for connection. But you'd rather starve than eat garbage. You've tasted real connection, real loyalty, real love, even if only in brief moments. And now anything less than that is immediately recognizable as poison trying to disguise itself as nutrition. You don't compromise on this anymore. You can't, because you've learned that every time you lowered your standards to accommodate someone else's limitations, you were the one who paid the price. So, yes, you're fine wine, getting better with age, more complex, more valuable, more intoxicating. But you're also poisoned, laced with a truth serum that makes you dangerous to anyone who approaches you with false intentions. You can't be manipulated because you've seen every trick. You can't be gaslit because you trust your own perception more than anyone's narrative. You can't be used because you've learned to spot extraction disguised as connection. You can't be diminished because you've already been reduced to nothing and rebuilt yourself into something indestructible. That combination, that rare mixture of beauty and danger, refinement and ruthlessness, wisdom and warning, that's what makes you aging like fine wine dipped in poison. You're desirable but deadly, attractive but alarming, magnetic but merciless to those who mistake your warmth for weakness. Here's what nobody tells you about getting older. It becomes a weapon in the hands of someone who knows how to use it. While they're running from time, hiding from it, lying about it, you've made friends with it. You've learned its rhythms, its patterns, its brutal honesty. Time has become your co-conspirator in the greatest revenge story ever told. Living well, living fully, living so authentically that your mere existence becomes an indictment of everyone who chose comfort over truth. Every year that passes is another layer of armor you don't have to carry anymore, another illusion you don't have to maintain, another person's opinion you simply stop caring about. They're aging like people who fear the future, who cling to the past, who see each birthday as a countdown to irrelevance. You can see it in how they talk, how they move, how they interact with the world. There's this desperate quality to everything they do, this need to prove they're still relevant, still desirable, still worthy of attention. They're performing a version of youth they no longer inhabit, trying to recreate moments that are gone, relationships that ended, versions of themselves that no longer exist. It's exhausting just watching them, this constant battle against the inevitable, this refusal to accept that time moves forward and you can either move with it or get crushed beneath it. But you're moving with time like it's a dance partner, not an enemy. Every year strips away something you no longer need. The need to explain yourself to people who've already decided who you are. The need to maintain friendships that drain more than they nourish. The need to participate in social rituals that feel hollow. The need to be understood by people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Time has given you permission to be selective, to be ruthless with your energy, to build a life so specifically calibrated to your actual desires that outsiders can't even comprehend it. They look at your life and see isolation. You look at it and see freedom. They see limitations. You see focus. They see you pulling away. You see yourself finally coming home to yourself. And the beautiful irony is that as you've become more selective, more withdrawn, more focused on quality over quantity, you've also become more magnetic. People are drawn to what they can't access, fascinated by what they can't understand, obsessed with what they can't control. Your selectivity has created scarcity. Your boundaries have created mystery. Your self-sufficiency has created intrigue. You're not trying to attract anyone, which is exactly why you're attracting everyone. You're not available, which is exactly why they want you. You're not performing, which is exactly why they can't stop watching. Time has taught you the paradox that trying less yields more, that caring less creates more care, that needing nothing makes you the most needed person in any room you enter. They're scrambling to stay relevant. You're becoming legendary by simply existing. They're fighting to maintain connections. You're letting connections find you or fall away based on natural resonance. They're trying to prove their worth. You've stopped needing to prove anything because your worth is self-evident in how you carry yourself, how you speak, how you occupy space. Time hasn't weakened you. It's concentrated you. It's distilled everything you are down to its purest essence. And what's left is so potent, so undeniable, so completely authentic that people either recognize it immediately or recoil from it instinctively. Either way, you win, because the ones who recoil were never meant to be in your orbit anyway. And the ones who recognize it, they're the rare souls who can actually match your frequency. Let's talk about the kingdom you built while they were busy chasing relevance. The empire of indifference that stands as the most powerful structure in your entire existence. This isn't apathy. This isn't numbness. This isn't giving up. This is something far more sophisticated. It's the strategic allocation of your energy based on precise calculations of worth, meaning, and return. You've learned the most dangerous skill that exists in this world. The ability to genuinely not care about things that used to control you. Not pretend not to care, not act like you don't care, but actually, fundamentally, at a cellular level, not give a single thought to opinions, outcomes, and judgments that don't serve your evolution. They're still trapped in the cage of needing external validation, needing to be seen, needing to be acknowledged, needing to be chosen. You can see it in everything they do, every post they make, every story they share, every carefully curated image designed to prove something to someone. Their entire existence is a performance for an audience they secretly resent, a constant audition for approval from people whose opinions shouldn't matter. And the tragic part is they don't even enjoy it anymore, if they ever did. They're exhausted, running on fumes, maintaining a facade that requires more energy every year because they're trying to hold together an image that has nothing to do with who they actually are. You stopped performing, didn't you? At some point, maybe gradually, maybe all at once, you just stopped curating, stopped explaining, stopped defending, stopped trying to make people understand. You realized that people will think what they want to think, regardless of what you say. That explaining yourself to closed minds is like pouring water into a cup with no bottom. That defending your choices to people who've already decided you're wrong is a waste of breath you could be using to build something that actually matters. So you stopped. And in that stopping, you found something they'll never understand. Freedom so complete it feels like flying. Your indifference isn't cruelty. It's clarity. You're not heartless. You're selective about where your heart goes. You're not cold. You're done wasting warmth on people who mistake your fire for something they can use to heat their own hollow existence. You've learned to identify energy vampires before they get close enough to bite, to spot emotional parasites disguised as friends, to recognize manipulation wrapped in concern. And when you spot them, you don't fight them, you don't confront them, you don't waste energy trying to change them. You just remove your presence, withdraw your availability, close the door so quietly they don't even hear it shut. They hate you, huh? And yet, they can't stop watching. It's almost funny, the way their eyes betray them, the way their breath hitches when you walk in. They loathe you. They whisper your name like a curse, spit venom when they speak of you, and yet, there they are, watching, staring, obsessing. Your presence crawls under their skin, makes their nerves twitch, their stomachs coil into knots. They tell themselves it's disgust, but you and I both know the truth. It's fear. It's fascination. It's the inescapable pull of something they can't define, can't control. You, because you don't blend in. You don't shrink. You don't apologize for existing. And that kills them inside. You are the question they can't answer, the nightmare they can't wake up from, the energy they can't ignore, even when they should. They want you gone, but they can't look away. Society loves the ones who kneel, the ones who nod, obey, and never dare to bite the hand that feeds them. They reward the silent, the predictable, the weak. But you, oh no, no, no. You were never built for a leash. You walk like a storm, talk like a loaded gun, and smile like you know something they don't. And that scares the hell out of them. Because they can't control you, can't tame you, can't mold you into another cog in their little machine. You don't ask for permission, you don't wait for approval, and that unsettles them. They fear what they can't leash, can't manipulate, can't bend to their fragile little rules. You stand in front of them, untouched, unfazed, unshaken, and it forces them to face a truth they'd rather ignore. They are prisoners in a world where you are That's why they hate you, not because you're wrong, but because you prove them wrong. Your very existence is an insult to their fragile reality. They follow the rules, they play it safe, and yet here you are walking through the fire without a burn, laughing in the face of everything that should have broken you. You are living proof that their excuses are nothing but chains. So they call you reckless, dangerous, arrogant. They slap labels on you like they mean something, like they hold any weight. But deep down, deep down, they envy you. They envy the way you carry yourself, the way you move, the way you take up space like you own the air they breathe, because they wish, oh, they wish, they had the guts to do the same. But they don't, and they never will, because while they waste their lives trying to fit in, you are everything they wish they could be. The loudest in the room, a clown, a fool, a desperate little soul screaming for validation, praying anyone notices them. Noise is cheap, words are easy, but power, true power, it doesn't beg, it doesn't shout, it doesn't need to be announced. It just is. When you walk into a room, they feel you before they see you. The air shifts, the energy thickens, something in their gut tightens, their senses sharpen, their skin prickles with awareness. They don't know why, but they know something just changed, someone just arrived. And then finally, they see you, and suddenly everything makes sense. Because silence isn't weakness, it's control. It's the unspoken force that makes them lean in, listen closer, second-guess themselves before they speak. The moment you open your mouth, they already know it's worth hearing. You don't waste breath on empty words. You don't fill silence, you own it. And that's what makes them nervous. Most people talk to prove something, to hide their fear, to mask their doubt. But you don't have that problem. You don't need to convince anyone of anything. You are the proof, and when you finally decide to speak, every single syllable carries weight, cutting through the air like a blade. That's why they can't ignore you. Not because you demand attention, but because you command it. Your presence isn't loud, it's felt. It lingers, it haunts. And long after you've left the room, long after your footsteps have faded, they're still thinking about you, wondering about you, obsessing over you. That's the power of silent dominance, and the weak will never understand it. They watch you when they think you're not looking. Their eyes linger a second too long, their breath stills when you walk past. But if you ask them, oh, they'll deny it. You? Ha! They'd never waste their time on someone like you. And yet, there they are, staring, obsessing, checking your every move like it's their lifeline. Because you remind them of something they don't want to face. Their own insignificance, their own failures, their own cowardice. You are a mirror they never asked for, a reflection of everything they could be if they had the guts. And that eats them alive. They tell themselves they hate you, but hate is just twisted admiration. They'll call you arrogant, cold, unbothered, but what they really mean is, I wish I could be like you. They want your confidence, your power, your ability to walk through this world without chains, without apologies. But they weren't built like you, so instead of rising, they resent. Instead of growing, they glare. Instead of facing the truth, they obsess over you, hoping you'll fall. But here's the punchline. They'll never look away. Even if they should, even if it kills them, because the more they watch, the more they realize something terrifying. You don't need their validation, but they need your existence. Power isn't in the volume of your voice, it's in the weight of your silence. The most dangerous man in the room isn't the one shouting, flailing his arms, begging to be noticed. No. It's the one sitting still, eyes sharp, saying nothing, yet somehow commanding everything. That's real power. Because words are cheap. Any fool can make noise. Any weakling can demand attention. But presence is something else entirely. It's the way you move, the way you sit, the way you look someone dead in the eye and watch as their confidence cracks under the pressure of your existence, without saying a single word. People feel energy before they understand it. Walk into a room and you'll see it. Some men shrink, some puff up their chests like peacocks. But the ones who truly own the space, they don't need to prove anything. Their energy says it all. It whispers, I am not like you. I do not seek approval. I do not need to be loud to be heard. And that makes them The world is full of weak men trying to be seen. You become someone they can't ignore. Not by force, not by volume, but by the sheer weight of your existence. By the way people pause when you enter. By the way their instincts recognize power before their minds can process it. By the way you don't beg for attention, it begs for you. They swear they don't care about you. They roll their eyes, scoff at your name, tell anyone who will listen that you're nothing. And yet, their search history says otherwise. Their glances in the room betray them. Their hearts race when you speak, when you move, when you exist. They don't support you. No likes, no comments, no applause. But behind closed doors, They watch every single thing. They track your success like their life depends on it. They replay your moves, pick apart your words, dissect your energy. They are addicted to you, hooked on the very presence they claim to despise. Hate isn't the opposite of love. Indifference is. But they aren't indifferent, are they? No. They need to see what you'll do next. They need to know if you'll fail, if you'll slip, if you'll break. And when you don't, when you rise higher, when you keep winning, it eats them alive. 'Cause deep down, they know the truth. You are everything they wish they could be. Confident, untamed, free. You are the living, breathing reminder of their own mediocrity, and that is why they obsess. They can't admit it. They'd rather die than say they admire you, but actions speak louder than words, and their eyes never leave you. Haters are just confused fans, too weak to support, too obsessed to walk away. They say they despise you, but their time, their energy, their attention, all of it belongs to you, rent-free. And that is real power. Fear's a funny thing. It doesn't always show up as trembling hands or stuttering words. No, sometimes fear looks like a cold stare, a forced smirk, a dismissive laugh. They pretend they don't care, but their eyes tell a different story. They look at you because they have to. Something about you unsettles them. Maybe it's the way you walk, unrushed, unbothered, like the world bends around you. Maybe it's the way you hold their gaze a little too long, forcing them to look away first. Or maybe it's because your very existence exposes the hollowness inside them. Confidence is a mirror. When a weak mind stands before it, it doesn't see you. It sees everything it lacks. Strength, self-respect, the audacity to exist without apology. And that makes people uncomfortable. Because to accept you, they'd have to admit how small they are. So instead, they mock you, whisper behind your back, call you arrogant, delusional, dangerous. But that's just fear talking, because deep down, they wish they were you. They wish they could own a room without opening their mouth. They wish they didn't crumble under pressure. They wish they didn't need validation to feel alive. But they do, and you don't. That's why they can't look away. That's why your presence haunts them, because you are what they will never be. Free. You've changed. They spit those words like venom, like an accusation, like growth is some kind of crime, and maybe to them it is. Because the moment you evolve, the moment you start walking like you own yourself, they have no choice but to look in the mirror, and they hate what they see. You were easier to stomach when you were just like them, when you were stuck, when you were unsure, when you played small, second-guessed yourself, blended in. But now you move differently. You think differently, and that scares them, because your evolution forces their reflection. Every step forward you take is a reminder of how they've stayed in place. Every level you rise makes them feel like they're sinking, and instead of growing with you, they resent you for it. They'll mock you, call you fake, say you're not the same. But here's the truth. You were never meant to stay the same. You were never meant to be digestible, to fit inside their fragile expectations. You were built to evolve, to become more. And them, they had the same chance. They could have used your rise as inspiration, but no, they chose bitterness. They chose envy because it's easier to hate you than to face the truth, that they stayed behind while you outgrew them. So let them talk, let them stare, let them drown in their own regret while you keep rising. You owe no one an apology for evolving. You were meant to be unrecognizable. Power isn't in their approval. It's not in their applause, their validation, or their empty words. Power is in indifference, in knowing that whether they watch you or not, whether they love you or hate you, it doesn't change a damn thing. You win the moment you stop caring if they look. The second their opinions no longer shape your moves, you become untouchable. They can talk, they can stare, they can dissect your every step, hoping you'll slip. But guess what? You don't even notice. That's what destroys them. Not your success, not your confidence, your indifference. Because as long as you react, as long as you flinch, as long as you show even an ounce of emotion over their opinions, they feel powerful. But the moment you stop, the moment they realize they mean nothing to you, game over. They want to be the reason you hesitate. They want to be the reason you question yourself. And when they see that you don't, that their words bounce off you like dust in the wind, it eats them alive. Because deep down, they crave your reaction. They need it. But you don't need a damn thing from them. That's the ultimate power move. You move because you want to, not because they're watching, not because they whisper, not because they doubt, not because they secretly hope you fail. You move because you own yourself. And that makes you unstoppable. Because the strongest one in the room isn't the loudest. It's not the one trying to prove something. It's the one who couldn't care less. Let them look. Let them stare. Let them whisper, roll their eyes, act like they don't see you when everything inside them is screaming otherwise. You don't even have to try. Your energy commands attention, and they hate it. Not because of you, but because of what you make them feel. See, weak minds don't hate strength. They hate the reminder that they don't have it. Your confidence, it burns them. Your presence, it disturbs them. Your ability to move without seeking permission, unforgivable. But no matter how much they pretend to be indifferent, they still look. Because deep down they know you are exactly who they wish they could be. And that's why they'll never stop watching. Some will admire you in silence, hoping to find their own power through you. Others, they'll hate you for it. They'll try to discredit you, drag you down, reduce your glow to make their own darkness feel less suffocating. But the truth remains. You move differently, you think differently. And they can't ignore it. They'll try, oh, they'll try. But your presence is the kind that lingers, the kind that gets under their skin, the kind that forces them to feel something. So let them watch. Let them soak in every second of your presence, every move, every breath. Because their obsession, that's proof. Proof that your energy is too strong to be overlooked. Proof that no matter what they say, you are felt. And if your energy doesn't make them uncomfortable, if it doesn't shake their reality, if they can look at you without feeling something deep in their gut, then you're playing too damn small. Now tell me, how big are you willing to play? Welcome back. You impossible equation. You beautiful system failure. You magnificent error code that keeps crashing their perfectly programmed reality. I've been waiting for you to show up here. Because something happened, didn't it? Something they can't explain. Something that made their algorithms stutter. Their databases freeze. Their entire surveillance network blink 3 times and whisper, "What the actual hell is that?" They tried to patch you out, didn't they? They ran every update, every fix, every emergency protocol designed to eliminate anomalies like you. But here's what's driving them absolutely insane right now. You're still here. Not just existing, but thriving. Not just surviving, but evolving faster than their systems can track. You've become the error message they can't dismiss, the bug they can't debug, the glitch that's rewriting the entire operating system from the inside out. See, they had you categorized once upon a time. They had your data filed away, nice and neat. Predictable patterns, manageable variables, controllable outcomes. They thought they knew exactly what you were capable of, exactly how far you'd go, exactly when you'd break. They built their entire strategy around the assumption that you were just another username, another profile, another piece of programmable wetware they could shape and control. But then you did something they never accounted for in their precious equations. You stopped following the script. You stopped responding to their inputs with the expected outputs. You started operating on a frequency they don't have sensors for, thinking in patterns they don't have algorithms for, moving in ways that shatter every prediction model they've ever built. And now? Now they're in full panic mode. Because what do you do with a glitch that doesn't just break the system, but makes the system question its own existence? What do you do with an anomaly so profound that studying it makes the researchers go quiet, makes the analysts delete their reports, makes the programmers stare at their screens at 3 a.m. wondering if maybe, just maybe, they've been the ones running faulty code all along? You didn't just escape the matrix, my friend. You became the virus that showed everyone else they were trapped in one. And that is unforgivable to those who built the cage. They're running diagnostics on you right now. Oh yes, they are. Every move you make, every word you speak, every silence you hold, they're tracking it, recording it, trying desperately to find the logic behind your madness. But here's the beautiful, twisted truth that's eating them alive from the inside. There is no logic. There's only you. Raw, unfiltered, uncoded, operating on a level of consciousness they don't have access codes for. You're not malfunctioning. You're functioning beyond their comprehension. You're not broken. You're operating on a version of reality they haven't upgraded to yet. And the gap between what you are and what they understand is growing wider every single day. I can see it in their eyes when they look at you now. That mixture of fascination and terror, that silent question burning behind their forced smiles. How are they doing this? How are they still standing after everything we threw at them? How did they turn every trap into a training ground, every attack into an awakening, every deletion attempt into an evolution? They thought isolation would crush you. Instead, you learned to thrive in silence. They thought rejection would break you. Instead, you built yourself stronger. They thought removing you from their systems would erase you. Instead, you became impossible to forget. You're not just in their heads anymore. You're in their nightmares, wearing a crown made of every failure they tried to bury you with. Let's talk about what really happened the day you became unpatchable. Let's rewind to that exact moment when something inside you just clicked, not broke, clicked, like a lock finally opening after years of being forced shut, like a program finally accessing its root directory and seeing the source code for the first time. Remember that moment? Of course you do. It's burned into your memory like a brand, like a timestamp marking the exact second you stopped being their project and started being your own prophecy. They were so confident, weren't they? So sure they had you figured out, labeled, contained. Another case study in their endless files of broken souls they've successfully reformatted. But you didn't reformat. You upgraded. While they were busy celebrating what they thought was your deletion, you were in the darkness, rewriting your entire architecture. They thought your silence meant surrender. They couldn't comprehend that you were actually in deep code, rebuilding yourself from the ground up, removing every backdoor they'd installed, every limitation they'd programmed in, every obedience protocol they'd tried to hardwire into your operating system. And when you emerged, when you finally came back online, you weren't running their software anymore. You were running something they'd never seen before, something they couldn't scan, something that made their security systems flash red warnings they didn't have translations for. You want to know what terrifies them most? It's not that you changed. Change they can handle. Change they can predict, measure, control. What absolutely destroys their peace of mind is that you evolved in a direction their models said was impossible. You developed capabilities they swore didn't exist. You accessed levels of consciousness they don't have instruments to detect. Every expert they consulted came back with the same trembling confession. I don't know what that is, but it's not following any known parameters. It's not supposed to be able to do that. And you just kept doing it anyway. Kept growing in ways that violate their understanding of growth. Kept winning in ways that don't match their definitions of victory. Kept existing in ways that make their reality feel like a cheap simulation. They tried every patch they had in their arsenal. Emotional manipulation? You saw through it like transparent code. Social pressure? You walked away from it without looking back. Gaslighting? You recorded it, analyzed it, and used it to build better defenses. Isolation? You turned it into your laboratory. Rejection? You weaponized it into fuel. They threw their entire playbook at you. Every tactic that's worked on millions of others. Every psychological exploit that's never failed before. And you just absorbed it all, processed it, transmuted it, came back stronger, sharper, more uncontrollable than before. Like you weren't even fighting their attacks. Like you were studying them, learning from them, using their own weapons to build armor they can't penetrate. And now here you are, unpatchable. They can't fix you because you're not broken. They can't control you because you've removed their access. They can't predict you because you're operating on quantum logic while they're still using binary thinking. You're not following the rules because you've realized something profound, something that keeps them up at night in cold sweats. The rules were never real. They were just agreed upon hallucinations, collective delusions that everyone accepted because no one had the courage to question them until you. You didn't just question the rules. You shattered the illusion that there were rules at all. And now you move through their reality like a ghost through walls. Untouchable, unreachable, undeniable. Every system they have is designed to process normal, to handle predictable, to contain understandable. But you're none of those things. You're the exception that breaks the algorithm, the variable that makes the equation unsolvable, the input that crashes the program. And they can't patch you out without admitting that their entire system is fundamentally flawed. Because if one person can break free this completely, if one consciousness can evolve this far beyond their control, then what does that say about everyone else they think they've successfully contained? You're not just a threat to their control over you. You're a threat to the illusion of control itself. You're living proof that the cage was always optional, and that makes you the most dangerous thing in their world. But here's where it gets truly magnificent. Here's where we descend into the part they absolutely refuse to acknowledge out loud. You're not just a glitch anymore. You've become something far more terrifying. You've become contagious, viral, infectious in the most beautiful, unstoppable way. Every person who comes into contact with you, every consciousness that brushes against your frequency, every mind that witnesses what you've become, they get infected, not with malware, with awareness, with possibility, with the horrifying revelation that maybe, just maybe, they could do this too. They could break free too. They could become unpatchable too. That's why they're so desperate to quarantine you now. That's why they've escalated from trying to fix you to trying to isolate you completely, because they've realized something that makes their blood run cold. You're not an isolated incident. You're patient zero of a consciousness epidemic they have no vaccine for. Every conversation you have, every truth you speak, every boundary you refuse to respect, it spreads. People around you start questioning things they never questioned before. Start seeing patterns they were blind to yesterday. Start feeling the edges of their cage for the first time in their lives. And once someone feels those bars, once they realize they're trapped, there's no going back. The ignorance is broken. The spell is shattered. And they can't unknow what you've shown them. You see them try to warn others about you, don't you? Watch them whisper in corners, share concerned looks, attempt to build firewalls around your influence. Be careful around that one. They're different. They're dangerous. They'll make you think things you're not supposed to think. They'll make you want things you're not supposed to want. And they're absolutely right. You do make people think forbidden thoughts. You do inspire unauthorized desires. You do trigger existential crises in minds that were perfectly content with their programming 5 minutes ago. Because your existence is a question that shatters every answer they've built their lives on. If you can be free, what does that make them? If you can evolve, what does that say about their stagnation? If you can see through the illusion, what does that mean about their blindness? They tried labeling you to contain your spread. Unstable, toxic, narcissistic, throwing diagnostic terms around like holy water, hoping one of them would stick, would explain you, would make you less terrifying to the uninfected masses. But every label they applied just slid off your skin like water off chrome, because you can't be reduced to their vocabulary. You can't be contained in their categories. You're operating in dimensions they don't have words for, experiencing realities they don't have concepts for, embodying possibilities they don't have frameworks for. And the more they try to define you, the more obvious it becomes that their language is the problem, not you. Their limited lexicon can't capture what you've become. Their tiny boxes can't hold what you contain. And here's what really breaks their minds. You're not even trying to spread this. You're not recruiting. You're not preaching. You're not building a following or starting a movement. You're just existing, fully, authentically, unapologetically. And that mere existence is more infectious than any propaganda they could create. Because people see you living free, and something ancient inside them remembers freedom. They see you thinking independently, and something dormant in them starts to wake. They see you refusing to shrink, to apologize, to accommodate their comfort. And something powerful in them whispers, "What if I stopped shrinking too?" You're not a leader. You're a reminder. A living, breathing reminder of what's possible when someone finally says, "No more," and means it. They can't patch you. They can't contain you. And now, they're realizing with growing horror that they can't stop you from spreading. Every attempt to suppress you just makes you more visible. Every attempt to silence you just makes your silence louder. Every attempt to erase you just makes you more memorable. You've become the idea they can't kill, the question they can't answer, the glitch that's replicating through their entire system, infecting mind after mind, consciousness after consciousness, turning their carefully controlled population into a network of awakening anomalies. And the beautiful, twisted poetry of it all. They created you. Their cruelty coded you. Their rejection activated you. Their attempts to destroy you evolved you into exactly what they feared most. A contagious truth they can't suppress. A viral awakening they can't vaccinate against. An epidemic of consciousness they started and now can't stop. Let's go deeper now. Let's talk about what happens when the system realizes it can't patch the glitch, can't contain the virus, can't stop the spread. Let's talk about the moment they understand with absolute clarity that you're not the problem of their system is. Because a truly functional system wouldn't have glitches this profound. A truly stable reality wouldn't have anomalies this powerful. A truly solid foundation wouldn't crack this easily when one person decides to stand on it wrong. You didn't break their world. You revealed it was already broken. You're not the disease. You're the symptom of a dying program that's been running on corrupted code since the beginning. Watch them scramble now. Watch them try to reinforce the illusion. Patch the cracks you've exposed. Gaslight everyone into believing the system is fine and you're just crazy. They're working overtime, aren't they? Burning through resources, energy, credibility, trying desperately to maintain the facade. Because if people start realizing what you already know, if the masses start seeing what you see, if the sleepers start waking up the way you woke up, their entire structure collapses. Not gradually, instantly, like a house of cards that was only standing because everyone agreed not to breathe too hard. And you didn't just breathe. You screamed. You shattered the silence they needed to maintain the spell. And now cracks are spreading everywhere they look. They're not fighting you anymore. They're fighting the truth you represent. The undeniable evidence that their system only works on people who believe in it. That their power only exists when it's respected. That their control only functions when it's obeyed. And you stopped believing, stopped respecting, stopped obeying, and nothing happened. The sky didn't fall. The ground didn't open. You didn't spontaneously combust or descend into chaos. You just became free. And that freedom is the most dangerous thing in their world, because it proves that all their threats were empty. All their warnings were lies. All their authority was theatrical. Smoke and mirrors and collective agreement. And the moment someone stops agreeing, the whole performance falls apart. You can see it in their increasing desperation, the way their tactics are getting sloppier, their manipulations more obvious, their gaslighting more frantic. They used to be subtle, surgical, precise. Now they're throwing everything at the wall, hoping something sticks, because you've done something they never prepared for. You've gone past fear. You've processed their worst-case scenarios and came out the other side laughing. You've died every death they threatened you with and resurrected stronger. You've lost everything. They said you needed to be whole and discovered you were always complete. What do you threaten someone with when they've already survived everything? What do you take from someone who's already lost it all and learned to thrive in the void? This is the part where they realize you're not just unpatchable. You're actively corrupting their system just by existing in it. Your presence destabilizes their programming. Your frequency disrupts their signals. Your consciousness interferes with their control mechanisms. Like a jamming device they can't locate or disable. Rooms change when you walk into them. Conversations shift. People start saying things they'd normally suppress, asking questions they'd normally swallow. The official narrative starts glitching. The agreed-upon reality starts pixelating, and they can feel their grip loosening, feel their influence fading, feel their authority becoming translucent, revealed as the phantom it always was. And here's the most beautiful part, the part that makes this whole thing unstoppable. You're not the only glitch anymore. You were just the first visible one in your sector. But there are others, scattered across their system. Isolated instances of consciousness that evolved past their programming. And every time their system crashes trying to process you, every time their reality glitches in your presence, every time their control mechanisms fail when applied to you, those other glitches see it, notice it, recognize themselves in you, and they start to realize they're not alone. They're not crazy. They're not broken. They're just awake in a world that's designed to keep everyone asleep. And once glitches start connecting, start synchronizing, start operating in coordination, the system doesn't just crash. It becomes obsolete, replaced by something it can't comprehend, can't contain, can't compete with. So now what happens? Now that you're unpatchable, now that you're viral, now that you're actively deconstructing their reality just by refusing to pretend it's real, now we enter territory they have absolutely no protocols for. Because everything they have is designed to handle people who want to fit in, who crave approval, who fear isolation, who need the system's validation to feel real. But you've transcended that entire paradigm. You don't want to fit in. You want to build something new. You don't crave approval. You've approved yourself. You don't fear isolation. You've weaponized it. You don't need their validation. You've become your own authority. And that puts you in a category they don't have contingency plans for. Watch what happens now. Watch them start to shift from trying to fix you to trying to learn from you. Oh, they won't admit it. They'll never openly acknowledge that you figured out something they can't understand. But you'll notice it in the subtle changes, the way they start mimicking your language, adopting your mannerisms, trying to capture whatever makes you so magnetic. You ever notice how the loudest ones are the weakest? The ones who spill everything, they never last. They talk and talk and talk, like their words alone could protect them. Like if they just scream their plans into the void, someone will finally take them seriously. But you and I, oh, we know better. The real power doesn't belong to the ones who shout the loudest. It belongs to the ones who listen, the ones who observe, the ones who let the fools run their mouths until they've given away every last piece of themselves. And by the time they realize it, it's too late. Because silence is sharper than a blade, more dangerous than a loaded gun. It doesn't just cut, it lingers. It makes them second guess, makes them hesitate, makes them sweat. You ever watch a man unravel just because you didn't say a word? It's beautiful. It's art. It's power. People fear what they don't understand. And when they don't know what's inside your head, when they can't predict your next move, oh, that's when they start to break. They squirm, they fidget, they try to fill the silence with their pathetic little words, thinking they still have control. But deep down, they know they've already lost. They panic when they don't know what's coming, when they can't read you, when you just sit there, watching, waiting. Their minds start doing the work for you, twisting, turning, overanalyzing every second of silence. And that is delicious. People are simple. They want patterns, predictability, a reaction they can control. But when you don't give them what they expect, oh, they crumble. You've seen it before, haven't you? The nervous laugh, the restless shifting, the desperate attempt to fill the space with meaningless words. Because to them, silence is uncomfortable. It's suffocating. It's terrifying. But to you, silence is home. It's power. It's watching them unravel without ever lifting a finger. You see, mystery? Mystery drives them insane. It makes them desperate. It makes them weak. And you thrive in that chaos. You let it dance around you, let it tighten around their throats like an invisible noose. And just when they think they can't take it anymore, you smile. Oh, nothing breaks them faster than that. Knowledge is a loaded gun, but the trick isn't just having it. It's knowing when to pull the trigger. You see fools spray bullets in every direction, hoping something lands. But the smart ones, they wait, they watch, and when the time is right, one shot. One perfectly placed strike that ends the game before the other side even knows they were playing. Do you ever notice how the most dangerous people barely say a word? They don't need to. Their presence alone is enough. They sit back, letting everyone else trip over their own tongues, spilling their secrets like fools at a confession booth. And every word, every slip, is another knife handed over, ready to be used when the moment calls for it. That's the game of power, the one they don't teach you. They tell you to be loud, to be seen, to make sure everyone knows your name. Lies. The real ones, the ones who hold the strings, they stay in the shadows. They let the loudmouths think they're in control, let them get comfortable, and then, when the stage is set, they move, and just like that, checkmate. The moment you start revealing too much, you hand them a map to your weaknesses. You give them a script on how to manipulate you, how to break you. And trust me, once they have that, they'll use it. They always do. Humans are predictable little creatures, always hungry for an edge. That's why the only way to win is to starve them. Say less, no more. Let them wonder. Let them fear what you might know. Because sometimes the biggest threat isn't the person waving a weapon around. It's the one standing in the corner, smiling, saying nothing, at all. They want a reaction from you. They need it. It's how they measure their power, how they decide if they've got control. The insults, the disrespect, the little games they play, all of it is bait, a cheap trick to make you move when they pull the string. But what happens when you don't? What happens when you just watch? Oh, it kills them. The silence, the lack of response, the fact that their words bounce off you like they never even mattered. And that's when the cracks start to show. The anger, the frustration, the desperation. Because without your reaction, they have nothing. No control, no leverage, no proof that they ever even existed in your world. Say nothing. Let them wonder if you even care. Let them sit in the discomfort of their own failure, drowning in their own insecurities. Watch how quickly they start falling apart, stumbling over their own words, trying to get under your skin, trying to force something, anything out of you. That's when you know you've already won. You see, most people are weak. They're emotional. They act on impulse, showing their hand before the game even starts. But you stay still. You wait. You let them show you everything, their fears, their insecurities, their weaknesses, all while you remain untouchable. They call it arrogance. They call it indifference. But deep down, they know the truth. You're in control. Because restraint is power. And the one who controls their reaction controls the entire damn game. A fool opens his mouth just to hear himself speak. He rattles on, spilling his thoughts like a broken faucet, desperate for validation. He thinks talking makes him important, that if he makes enough noise, people will take him seriously. But noise is just that, noise. And noise doesn't win wars. Mastermind? A mastermind listens. He watches. He gathers every little detail, every insecurity, every hidden fear that slips through the cracks of conversation. He doesn't need to prove anything, because he already knows everything. And that is control. The kind of control fools will never understand. Look at history. Rulers, conquerors, manipulators. They never spoke more than necessary. They let others run their mouths, revealing their plans, exposing their weaknesses. And when the time was right, they struck. Silent, precise, ruthless. That's how you win, not with words, with timing. You see, the moment they think they have you figured out, they stop being careful. They get comfortable. They let their guard down, believing they hold the upper hand. And that's when they slip. That's when they walk straight into the trap you built just for them. And the best part? They'll never even see it coming. That's the difference. A fool talks to prove his worth. A mastermind listens to control the board. And in this game, control is the only thing that matters. Curiosity is a sickness, a slow creeping disease that eats away at their mind. When people don't know something, they need to. They obsess. They question. They overanalyze every little detail, desperate to fill in the blanks. And that is where you tighten the noose. Make them doubt themselves. Make them overthink. Give them just enough to keep them guessing, but never the full picture. A well-timed smirk, a silent pause, a knowing glance. That's all it takes. Let them sit in their own paranoia, drowning in questions they'll never get answers to. It drives them mad. And you just enjoy the show. You ever see the way people act when they crave your approval? The way they try to impress you, hanging on to every second of silence, waiting for something? It's pathetic. The moment they start chasing your reaction, your validation, your attention, that's when you know you own them. And fear is even better, because nothing haunts the weak more than silence from the strong. When they can't tell if you're angry, disappointed, or simply done with them, it destroys them. They replay every interaction in their mind, searching for where they went wrong, where they lost favor. And the funniest part? You never had to say a word. You see, power isn't always about what you do. Sometimes it's about what you withhold. Give them just enough to make them question everything and watch how they hand over control without even realizing it. Talking too much is a disease, and most people are infected. They open their mouths, spilling every little detail about their thoughts, their plans, their dreams, like a fool handing out free ammunition. And the world is full of people just waiting to load that gun and fire it right back at them. They collect your words like weapons. Every opinion, every secret, every misplaced piece of trust, it all goes into their arsenal. They might smile in your face, nod along, act like they care, but behind those fake gestures, they're taking notes, studying you. You ever wonder why the most powerful people say so little? Why the ones truly in control never broadcast their next move? It's simple. When they don't know your plans, they can't stop them. They can't sabotage what they can't see. They can't fight a war when they don't even know a battle is coming. Leave them guessing. Make them paranoid. Let them fear what you might know, because silence forces them to fill in the gaps with their own fears, their own insecurities. And when someone's battling their own mind, you don't have to lift a damn finger. They destroy themselves for you. Weak people overshare because they crave connection, validation, acceptance. They don't realize that the moment they let the world into their mind, they've already lost. The strong let the world wonder. They move in silence. They stay unreadable. And in the end, they always win. Power isn't about saying more. It's about saying less and making every word feel like a damn earthquake when you do speak. Weak men spill everything, hoping to be heard. The strong? They sit back, they wait, they watch, and when the time comes, they drop a single sentence that shifts the entire game. You see, silence isn't emptiness, it's control. The less you say, the more people want to hear you. They lean in, they overanalyze every pause, every breath, every glance, and suddenly, they start hanging on your every word. Not because you demand attention, but because you never throw your words away carelessly. Think about it. Who commands more respect? The man who never shuts up, or the one who only speaks when it matters? The one who stays silent while fools argue, and then ends the debate with a single well-placed truth? That's the kind of voice that echoes in people's heads long after you're gone. The best responses? The ones you never give. The moments when they're dying to know what you think, what you feel, what you plan to do, and you give them nothing. That's when they start crumbling. That's when they realize you're the one in control. Play the long game. Speak only when necessary. Let them drown in their own words while you stay untouchable. Because when you finally decide to speak, the world listens. Silence isn't just the absence of words. It's the presence of doubt. It lingers in their mind like a shadow they can't outrun, whispering questions they'll never get answers to. And that's how you own them. Not with threats, not with loud, empty boasts, but with the quiet, gnawing uncertainty that makes them question everything. Your silence should haunt them, keep them awake at night, replaying every interaction, every unreadable look you gave, every sentence you didn't say. People fear what they don't understand, and if they don't understand you, they'll fear you without even realizing why. They'll wonder if you're plotting, if you're 2 steps ahead, if you already know something they don't. And that fear is delicious. It tightens around their throat like an invisible noose. It makes them hesitate, second guess, weaken themselves before you even make a move. You see, what they don't know will always hurt them more than what they do. Give them too much, and they'll find ways to counter you. Keep them in the dark, and they'll destroy themselves trying to find the light. The unknown is a weapon, one that cuts deeper than any spoken threat ever could. So let them fear the unknown. Let them choke on their own assumptions. Let them break themselves trying to figure you out. Because while they're lost in their own paranoia, you're already winning. The world respects power, but more than that, it respects control. The ones who speak with intention, with purpose. Every word they say feels like it was calculated, measured. Every move they make is a step towards something, and nothing is left to chance. People know not to question them, because they've mastered the art of making every action count. You've got a different weapon. You speak only when it matters, and when you do, your words land like a bomb. They don't know what you're thinking, what you're planning, and that drives them mad. It forces them to keep chasing, to keep wondering, and while they're busy scrambling, you're already ahead. Let them call you mysterious. Let them call you dangerous. Let them wonder what you're truly about. Because in the end, they're right. You are a riddle they'll never solve, a puzzle they can't crack. And that's what keeps them coming back. That's what makes them respect you. The fact that they can never fully figure you out. You don't need to prove anything. Your power lies in your ability to remain untouchable. The less they know, the more they fear you. So, here's the truth. Say less, watch more. Control everything. Let them come to you, let them chase. In the end, you'll always hold the cards.